Friday. You're back rocking and rolling on In My Own Words, the podcast with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Folks, as always, be sure to drop a thumbs up. Be sure to give a like on the show and hit that subscribe button on YouTube, letting us know that we ought to continue pumping you out the best in news, notes, and information. Also, if you haven't done so, go to touchdownalabama.com. Link is in the description. Touchdownalabama.com. Touchdown Alabama Magazine to get your vote on in terms of the March Madness bracket. When you look at your best bars, your best restaurants in Tuscaloosa, voting for round 2 goes up into March 20th at 2 p.m. Central Time. March 20th at 2 p.m. Central Time. So, basically that being today, which is March 20th. So, be sure to go to touchdownalabama.com, Touchdown Alabama Magazine, and get your vote on. But we're back in here to In My Own Words, the podcast. We're talking about one Charlie Strong. And I mentioned this conversation a while back on him being brought in to be more than just an analyst. At some point, could we see Strong as an on-field coach? I touched on it briefly, but want to get more so into this topic because I know for people that have been a head coach before, for guys that have been a head coach before, for guys that have been a defensive or offensive coordinator before, you don't want to take a job, or you don't take a job as an analyst unless that job is at one of the premier programs in your respective sport, whether it's college football, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, what have you. You don't take an analyst job unless it's one of the premier spots in the sport. And along with that, I just feel like Nick Saban and Coach Strong had this conversation of him coming into Tuscaloosa to be the analyst, but the conversation was had with, at some point, Coach Strong was going to have the opportunity to be a bigger factor on this defense, have a bigger role on this defense, whether it's as a coordinator or as an on-field coach. The question becomes, because he's gonna be an on-field coach at Alabama at some form, at some point. But the question is, at what variety will it come? At what point will it come in? Because the pressure is already on Pete Golding. You don't make a hire to bring in a Charlie Strong if you don't see that he could be a bigger benefit to you as a coordinator or as an on-field coach. You don't bring Charlie Strong in just for shuffling paperwork. You don't bring Charlie Strong in to just handle the coffee runs. You don't bring Charlie Strong in to shuffle charts and graphs. You don't bring Charlie Strong in to watch, We Are Marshall and Space Jams on the TV. You bring in Charlie Strong for a distinct job. So the pressure is already on Pete Golding in a sense of, Coach Golding knows the slightest hiccup, the slightest slip, the slightest struggle from this defense, from my head in terms of coaching this defense, I'm going to look behind me and all of a sudden I'm going to see Coach Saban give this headset to Charlie Strong and he's going to be running this defense. So the pressure is already on Coach Golding to deliver and make the necessary improvements he needs to make. Now, getting back to Coach Strong, I can see this going down in one of two ways. So, way number one, it'll be a situation where Coach Golding could have a slight slip, a misstep, a mistake. We could still see where the Alabama defense is not where Nick Saban wants it to be at. The Crimson2go defense is not following the standard that the fan base wants it to have, and that the coaching staff wants it to have, and that the players themselves, I guess, want them to have. So if that were to happen, I can clearly see Coach Saban prior to the season even starting going, whoa, hold the heck up. We're not having what I thought we were going to have. We're not making necessary improvements. Pete, give me this. Charlie, put this on. This is your defense now. I can see Nick Saban going way in front of the locomotive, pause it, hit the brakes, and literally take the headset from Pete Golding and hand that sucker over to Charlie Strong to run the defense. But there's a part 2 to this, and we'll get to the part 2 on the other side of the break. Don't touch that dial, folks. You're listening to In My Own Words.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month, or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Okay, so as we're back in from the break here, part 1 of the Charlie Strong conversation was if there would be a slight slip or a slight struggle or a slight hiccup from Pete Golding prior to the season starting, that I can see Nick Saban getting in front of a train, stopping it, and going, okay, this is not working. This is not what we want. Let's have Charlie Strong run this defense. Pete, give me this headset. Or it could be a situation where Pete Golding makes a massive improvement. It could be something where Pete Golding takes a huge jump up. He makes the improvement. Dylan Moses has an All-American Butkus Award, first-round pick type year. Joshua McMillan goes off. LeBron Ray goes off. Christian Barmore goes off. Will Anderson and a couple of these freshmen go off for secondaries creating turnovers. It could be a year where Pete Golding makes those necessary adjustments. The defense gets back to being a strong top 5 Alabama defense, and Pete Golding is hired away by some other team, and that could put Charlie Strong back to being an on-field coach. So he's going to get back to coaching defenses. He's going to get back to being an on-field guy, and he will be an on-field guy for the Crimson Tide. The question is just, in what variety will this come? At what point, at what distinct moment will this come? Will it come at the beginning of the year? Will it come at a position where, Pete Golding has a slip up through a couple of games of the season, and then before we get into the big matchups, then Nick Saban pulls the reins? Or could it be a situation that I mentioned where, Coach Pete has a big year, monster year, marquee year, gets whisked away by another program, and then Charlie Strong becomes the on-field coach? There's a number of different varieties here we can look at, but to end all be all, I do see Charlie Strong at some point becoming an on-field coach for the Crimson Tide. But as always, people, you want to know the best in news, notes, and information on your Crimson Tide. It's very easy and simple to get the information. You do this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app, and you can get this from your iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. At the podcast options, you can check them out, whether you like iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, yours truly, I shall return on Monday, continuing the conversation. News, notes, and information on Alabama football, but as always, leaving you with my 3 favorite things that goes a little something like this. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, be good to those husbands. Children, don't get on your parents' nerves. Get those chores done. Get those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the people around you. Until next time, folks, this has been In My Own Words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in the Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.